If you take a look at the wall behind me, it will tell you a lot about who I am as a comic book collector. And one thing will be very apparent to you is that I'm a Marvel guy. There is not one DC book on the wall behind me. And that actually says a lot. But I just finished reading a DC book. If you want to know what I read and what I thought, stay tuned for the video. Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my videos. In this video, we are going to be discussing this right here. I just finished reading a DC book. If you are not new to this channel, you know that I don't read DC books. But I said that I was going to read the book. I put it off for probably a month and a half, but I finally got around to reading this book. And if you're not new to this channel and you're like, well, what do you have against DC? I have absolutely nothing against DC. I think DC books are perfectly fine for people that like DC books. But I've grown up and grown into adulthood being a Marvel guy, and I will probably always be a Marvel guy. But as an adult, I wanted to take an opportunity to actually expose myself to some DC books, to see what it is that people really like about DC books. And some folks have recommended some books to me. I tried to read one before. It was tough for me to get through. I think I made it to page 5 and stopped. But I've heard really good things about this Green Lantern book. I kind of sort of like Green Lantern in theory. The movies have mixed reviews, but I actually kind of enjoyed the movies. I thought they were fun. And so I kind of like Green Lantern and wanted to read this particular book. So I did. When I look at this book, I am not really impressed with the artwork. I think the artwork is okay, but I've seen better artwork on Marvel books. But I've also seen worse artwork on Marvel books. So I'm not necessarily judging it by the cover, but I do want to give my opinion of the cover. It's okay. It's not the most dynamic cover, but it's a nice cover, you know? And so moving beyond just the cover, moving to some of the interior artwork, I was not quite impressed with the interior artwork. I found myself struggling in some cases to kind of follow some of the action. I also found some of the interior artwork just a little sloppy. I mean, that's a cool action scene, but I find some of the distortion in the artwork, I don't really care for it. There's a grittiness to it. There's a texture to it that I don't fully appreciate. I mean, this scene here could have been depicted, these scenes, I should say, could have been depicted so much better than they were here, you know? The style of the artist is not something that I really care for. Like this creature here, I don't know, is that a mole, a chipmunk? How many arms does he? It's not the best artwork. And so that was a little bit of a disappointment because, you know, you want to like the pictures, you want to like the artwork, you want to be able to follow the action, and you want to be entertained by the artwork. And I didn't necessarily find that to be the case. Now, with that said, this passage here, this spread, really this side of the spread, I think is really fantastic. You know, the Green Lantern Oath, I think is what it's called. This was really cool. I think that this scene right here, I thought was really cool, really powerful stuff. You know, to me, that was probably the best depiction in the entire book, was that one. And I guess if there's one that you want to get right, it's probably that one. This one was also really cool. That one was also really cool. But as far as the artwork goes, it was a little lacking for me. It is what it is. The story was okay. I felt like I was going to be reading a foundational book, and I didn't really find it to be that foundational. There were terms and characters and, you know, cuts to scenes where I found myself struggling to put the pieces together and to kind of remember the name of the character and attach it to that character, you know? It was a struggle because it just kind of jumped around. At least to me, it jumped around a lot, and I struggled to figure out where we were in time, because I almost was reading it thinking, you know, Hal Jordan's not even a Green Lantern in the first part, and come to find out he was a Green Lantern, but he had been kicked off of the Green Lantern Corps and they had taken his lantern. So that was, you know, I started off on the wrong foot, and then I was trying to play catch up the entire time. But with that said, I think that the Green Lantern character is pretty cool. I think this idea of him being like a cop is kind of cool. It's one of those things for me where I would probably need to read several more issues for the pieces to fall into place and for it to start making sense, you know, because I think that there's a thread that probably just needs to be pulled through and then pulled a little tighter for the pieces to fall together. There was just some strange tidbits in this thing. The guy's finger gets cut off, and instead of like taking the ring off and putting the ring on another finger, he just has the finger float around. It's just, to me, that's a little nonsensical. And I really don't get the logic in that. I mean, that's just kind of nitpicking, but I just didn't really get the logic in that. But again, am I opposed to reading more Green Lantern books? No. Would I want to see different art from Mr. Sharp? Yeah. I mean, this looks like Gulliver's Travel. I mean, I'm just waiting for the little people to put the straps on them, you know? But that's how that feels to me. Again, it's not bad. It doesn't turn me off from DC books or Green Lantern books. I guess I would just want to read some more to have a better understanding of who these characters are and the role that they play. And I don't know. That's all I got. That's the best I can do. As always, guys, I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you have recommendations for other DC books that I might want to consider, let me know. Not saying that I'll read them, but I am at least willing to give it a try. I've heard some good things about a couple of the Batman books. I am probably not a Superman fan, so I would not read Superman. But maybe some Batman I could probably try. I feel like I could get into Batman. So let me know. If you have recommendations, let me know. Take care.